अबू धाबी के बारे में बहुत कम लोग बात करते हैं। लेट्स से फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ 2026 में बहुत ही अच्छे प्रोजेक्ट्स आ रहे हैं अबू धाबी में।
Just listen, imagine and enjoy the journey. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders. Let's begin our journey through Abu Dhabi.
Hello everyone, Sat Shri Akal ji and welcome back to our channel once again. My name is Manpreet Kaur.
My name is Jaideep Singh Jatta.
And today we will be talking about Abu Dhabi. Yes, दुबई के बारे में आपने बहुत सुना होगा और सब लोग दुबई के बारे में बहुत एजुकेशनल वीडियोस बनाते हैं, बट अबू धाबी के बारे में बहुत कम लोग बात करते हैं। एंड अबू धाबी इज गोना बी नेक्स्ट हब ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड ये आपके लिए अपॉर्चुनिटी है। यू एजुकेट योरसेल्फ अबाउट अबू धाबी मार्केट, लोकेशन, projects, the rules and regulations so that you are ready for the right project when it launches. And अगले कुछ महीनों में let's say first half of 2026 में बहुत ही अच्छे projects आ रहे हैं अबू धाबी में। Let's say Shoba is launching a very massive project in Abu Dhabi very close to Yas Island जहाँ पे Ferrari World है and Disneyland आ रहा है। उसके अलावा अल्दार is one of the developer who has couple of options currently available, and less than 5% of Abu Dhabi's real estate is freehold, जो कि outsiders like expats can buy. Not unlike Dubai, जैसे दुबई में majority of the land is freehold. So yes, आज हम लोग अबू धाबी थे तो स्टेकेशन के लिए आए थे। We are staying at one of the desert resort and we thought of making a very informative video about Abu Dhabi to help our investors who are not living in Dubai and who are in different country across the world who never been to Dubai. This video will be very informative for you. My husband has done his research numbers on Abu Dhabi's real estate market. So over to Mr. J. He will be educating you, and if you want to buy a property in Dubai, you can get in touch with us right away on email and WhatsApp mentioned below in the description, and one of our team member Kirpa Army will get back to you. We will have a Zoom call to educate you, to give you overview of Abu Dhabi's market. So over to you, Jay.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about a very special place, a real place, a place where people live, work, learn and dream. This place is called Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is not just any city. It is the capital city of the United Arab Emirates, also known as the UAE. A capital city is very important. It's where leaders work, it's where big decisions are made for the country, and it is where the future of the entire country is planned. But Abu Dhabi is more than just offices and buildings. It is a city with a story that started in the desert, a story that began by the sea, a story of fishermen, pearl divers, families and tribes. And over time, that small settlement grew into this modern global city that we have today. In this video, we're going to learn about Abu Dhabi step by step in a very simple and clear way. So what will we cover in this video? We'll start by talking about number one, the history of Abu Dhabi. So we'll talk about how this city began, how people lived long ago, and how oil changed everything. Next, we'll talk about geography, where Abu Dhabi is located, what the land looks like, and what the weather is like. Next, we'll talk about the government. So we'll talk about who runs Abu Dhabi, how the city is governed, and how decisions are made. Number four, we'll be talking about city planning. So how the Abu Dhabi was planned carefully instead of just growing randomly. Next, we'll talk about cityscape. That means how the city looks today, including roads, buildings, and open spaces. Number six, we'll talk about real estate and freehold property. We'll be learning how homes are built, who can buy property, what freehold means, and when it was introduced. Then we'll be discussing the residential and freehold areas where you can actually buy property, like Saadiyat Island, Yas Island, Al Reem, Al Marya, Hudayriyat, and Fahid Islands. Next, we'll be talking about the economy, how Abu Dhabi earns money, and how it plans for the future beyond oil. This is another topic that not many people talk about, utility services, how electricity, water, internet, waste systems, and daily services work in a desert city. Next, we'll be talking about human rights, how people are treated, safety, laws, healthcare, and respect for all cultures. And then not last, but demographics, who lives in Abu Dhabi, how families live here and how families move here. Transportation, how people move around the city, including roads, buses, taxis, and the airport. Culture, traditions, family life, clothing, religion, food, and celebrations. This is also important to know. Education, we'll talk about schools, universities, curriculums, and why families choose Abu Dhabi for raising children. And also, lastly, sports. So we'll also discuss what sports are popular here, like football, Formula One, golfing, cycling, and what it means to the community. So again, this is a video made for people who do not know Abu Dhabi. It'll be an introduction. You do not need to remember much. Just listen, imagine, and enjoy the journey. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders. Let's begin our journey through Abu Dhabi. All right, let's start with the history of Abu Dhabi. So long ago, before tall buildings and wide roads, Abu Dhabi was a very quiet place. There were no cars, no airplanes, no shopping malls or skyscrapers. There was the sea and there was the desert, and there were small groups of people or tribes trying to survive. The people who lived here depended on the nature. They lived close to the water because water meant life. Without water, it was impossible to survive in the desert heat. So most of the early people in Abu Dhabi were fishermen. Every morning, they went out to the sea in small wooden boats and they caught fish to eat and to trade. Some people were also there that were pearl divers. Pearl diving was very dangerous. Men would dive deep into the sea without oxygen tanks, and they held their breath and searched for what? Oysters. Inside some of those oysters were pearls, and pearls at the time were very valuable. They were sold to traders who took them to other countries like Europe or Asia or India or China. That was how people made money before anything existed. So the land of Abu Dhabi was ruled by tribes. And a tribe is a large group of people that lives together and protects each other. And one of the most important tribes was called the Bani Yas. This tribe played a very important role in the history of Abu Dhabi. The leaders of Abu Dhabi also come from this tribe. So they helped keep peace and order among all the people. And the name Abu Dhabi has a special meaning. It means father of the gazelle. And as you know, a gazelle is a beautiful desert animal, similar to a deer. And there's an old story that a gazelle once led the people to fresh water, and fresh water helped them survive. Because of this story, this place became known as Abu Dhabi. So for many years, life stayed very simple. People lived in huts made of palm leaves and mud. They slept on the sand or simple beds. Life was hard, but people really supported each other. Then, in the 20th century, something incredible happened. Oil was discovered. At first, people did not know how important oil would be, but soon everything began to change. Oil brought money. Money brought opportunity, and opportunity brought development. With the oil money, Abu Dhabi could build schools. Children no longer had to learn only at home. They could actually go to school and learn in classrooms. Hospitals were built. People could now get medical help when they were sick. Roads were built. The cars replaced the camels that they were so used to. And electricity came in. Homes could now have lights and air conditioning. And then, in 1971, another major moment happened. The United Arab Emirates was formed. Abu Dhabi became the capital city of the UAE, and this made Abu Dhabi even more important. The rulers of Abu Dhabi focused on planning for the future. They did not see oil to be the future. They thought it was not the only source of success. So they invested in education, in infrastructure, in culture, and real estate development. Because of careful planning, Abu Dhabi grew very steadily. It did not rush. It did not grow without control. Today, if you come to Abu Dhabi, you'll see that it's a modern city and it still remembers its past. You can still see the traditional buildings, the cultural festivals, the respect for their history. And the story of Abu Dhabi is a story of transformation from desert life to a global city, from pearl diving to future planning. And that is why Abu Dhabi's history is so important to know. Next, we're going to talk about geography, exactly where Abu Dhabi is and what it looks like. So Abu Dhabi is located in the Middle East. It's part of a country called the United Arab Emirates, or the UAE. It's one of 7 states or emirates. And if you look at a world map, you'll find Abu Dhabi near the Arabian Gulf. That means the city is very close to the sea. Because Abu Dhabi is near the sea, it has beaches, islands, and coastal areas. So people can enjoy swimming, boating, and fishing. The main city of Abu Dhabi is actually built on an island. This island is called Abu Dhabi Island. It's connected to the mainland by bridges. People can easily drive in and out of the city, so they do not feel like they're on an island. Most of the land around Abu Dhabi is desert. The desert is very wide and open, has sand, rocks, and very, very few trees and vegetation. The desert may look empty, but is actually full of life. Animals like camels, birds, and small desert animals live there. Plants really grow slowly because there's so little rain. So Abu Dhabi does not have many mountains. The land is mostly flat. That makes it easier to build roads and cities. And the city has many small islands nearby. Some islands are natural and some islands are man-made. These islands are used for residential homes, nature reserves, tourism, and culture. One very special natural area is the mangroves. Mangroves are trees that grow in salty water near the ocean. And mangroves are really important because, number one, they protect the coastline. Two, they help fish grow. And number three, they actually filter and clean the water. Abu Dhabi protects these mangroves very carefully. Now let's talk about the weather. Abu Dhabi, as you may have guessed, has a very hot desert climate. That means summers are very hot and winters are warm and cool sometimes and comfortable. For example, right now we are in winter and it's very comfortable. In the summer, it sometimes goes over 45 degrees Celsius, and because of this heat, people tend to stay indoors. But buildings here have very strong air conditioning, which is great. In the winter, it's much nicer and you can walk outside. This is the time when people actually go to the parks, families visit the beach, and outdoor events happen. Rain is very rare in Abu Dhabi. Some years it only rains a few days, and when it rains, people get really excited. The children look outside, adults take photos and post it on their social media. Because the rain is very rare, water is very precious. Abu Dhabi gets most of its drinking water from the ocean. The city removes the salt through desalination plants and then gives it to the people. So the location of Abu Dhabi is very, very important. It is close to Asia, Europe, and Africa. That makes it a very good place for trade and travel. Planes can easily fly to many countries. Actually, an interesting statistic, 4 hours flight can cover 60% of the world's population. So Abu Dhabi's geography helped shape its future. And the sea helped with fishing and trade. The desert taught people patience and strength, and the location has helped it become such a big city that it is today. So the city respects nature, it plans very carefully, and it builds while protecting the land. That balance between land, sea, and people is what makes Abu Dhabi special. Next, we're going to be covering the government. Government is how a city or country is led or managed, and it's how rules are made. It's how people are protected, and it is how the future is planned. So Abu Dhabi has a very, very important government role. That's because Abu Dhabi is the capital city, like I told you, of the UAE. That means that many of the most important leaders of the country actually live and work in Abu Dhabi. The government of Abu Dhabi is run by a ruling family called the Al Nahyan family. This family has led Abu Dhabi for many, many generations. And the current ruler of Abu Dhabi, his name is Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. He's also known around the world as Sheikh MBZ or MBZ. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan is not only the ruler of Abu Dhabi, but he's also the president of the United Arab Emirates. That means he has a very, very big responsibility. He helps make decisions for not only Abu Dhabi, but the entire UAE. And he doesn't work alone. The government is made up of many leaders and councils. One important group is called the Executive Council of Abu Dhabi. And the Executive Council helps manage the entire emirate or capital city. It includes crown princes, senior leaders, and heads of important departments. Each person has a job to do, and some leaders focus on education, health, housing, transport, economy, and together they help run the city very, very smoothly. So there's also a federal government for the UAE, and this has its own group of people because they have taken people from all the Emirates, and because Abu Dhabi is the capital, many federal ministries are based here. Ministries help run the country. For example, the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. These ministries help make national rules and policy. The government of Abu Dhabi believes in planning ahead. They do not only think about today, they think about the next 10, 20, or even 50 years. They ask questions like, how will children live in the future? How will the city grow safely? And how can nature be protected? So that's one of the many reasons why Abu Dhabi grows in a very calm and organized way. So the government also makes laws, and laws help everybody. The laws help keep people safe, protect property, make sure people behave responsibly. Everyone living in Abu Dhabi must follow these laws. The government is also supporting citizens. Citizens can receive healthcare, housing, and hospitality support. This helps families have a stable life. At the same time, the government welcomes people from other countries. Millions of people from around the world live and work in Abu Dhabi. And the government works really hard to make sure different cultures can live peacefully, everyone feels safe, and the rules are clear. Because of this strong leadership and careful planning, Abu Dhabi is known for stability, safety, and organization. Children can go to school safely, families can build a future, and visitors can feel very comfortable. The government of Abu Dhabi is built on leadership, responsibility, long-term thinking, and this is how the city continues to grow with confidence. Next, we're going to be covering the cityscape and freehold real estate in Abu Dhabi. We're going to be covering how Abu Dhabi is at the moment in terms of the zones and what kind of areas you can expect. So city planning in Abu Dhabi is closely related or connected to real estate and property ownership. One of the most important ideas in Abu Dhabi's real estate story is freehold ownership. And to understand why Abu Dhabi looks the way it does today, we do need to understand what freehold means and when it was introduced and why it changed the city. What does freehold really mean? Freehold is a type of property ownership. When somebody owns a home on a freehold basis, it means they fully own the property, they own it forever, they can sell it anytime, they can rent it anytime, and then they can pass it on to their children. The property truly belongs to them. It's very different to older systems where people could only live in a home for a limited period of time, and that's basically leasehold. So freehold gives people confidence to settle down, the confidence to invest, to plan long term, and to make sure that their money is safe. So when was freehold introduced in Abu Dhabi? For a long time, only UAE nationals could own property here in the capital city. Expats could live in the homes, but they could not fully own them. This changed in 2005. In 2005, Abu Dhabi introduced this law that created investment zones. These zones allowed non-UAE nationals to buy property in specific areas. At first, ownership was very limited and carefully controlled. Then, in 2019, Abu Dhabi made a very major change. The government officially allowed full freehold ownership for expats in these designated areas. This was a very important moment because it showed that the city was opening up its property market, welcoming long-term residents, and encouraging global investment. This decision helped shape the modern city that we see today. So why did Abu Dhabi introduce freehold? Again, the government introduced freehold for several reasons. First, it helped attract talent from around the world. People were more willing to move if they could own a home. Second, it helped grow the real estate market. Developers can now build long-term communities, not just short-term housing. Third, it helped with the overall city planning. When people own the homes, they can take better care of their neighborhoods, stay longer there, and build the communities. This supports stable growth instead of fast, uncontrolled expansion. Now, freehold areas is part of the city. Abu Dhabi did not just allow freehold everywhere. Instead, it chose specific areas that fit into its long-term city plan. These freehold zones were designed with infrastructure, schools, roads, parks, and utilities, all ready in advance. This ensured that growth stayed organized. So let's now talk about the key freehold areas and their purpose. Each freehold area in Abu Dhabi has a role in the city's overall design. For example, Saadiyat Island. This was planned for culture and luxury living, low-density homes, beaches, and museums, all together in one place. Yas Island was planned for families and entertainment, Homes, schools, and leisure areas were designed side by side. Number 3, Al Reem Island. It was planned as a high-density residential zone. Tall towers close to the city center reduced the travel time. Number 4, Al Marja Island combined residential living with workplace, so they could live by the work. The Dariyat Island was planned for wellness and outdoor living, large homes, open space, and cycling tracks. Fahd Island represents the future. It's being planned as a long-term residential island with greenery and waterfront living. So these areas were not chosen randomly. They actually fit into Abu Dhabi's master plan really, really well. How does freehold now change the entire cityscape? Because of freehold, more long-term communities were built, buildings were designed to last, and neighborhoods became very stable. Developers focused on quality and not speed. The cityscape became very balanced. Now you have apartments for professionals, villas for families, and mixed-use areas for work and living. This helped Abu Dhabi avoid overcrowding, which does happen in most capital cities. This is a note for viewers. I have created separate detailed videos on each of these freehold areas where I explain who each area is best for, the lifestyle, how they differ from each other, the real estate prices, and how you can find out. So make sure you go to our channel and find those videos for each and every island so you really understand them. The big picture is freehold ownership was not just a real estate decision, it was a city planning decision. It helped Abu Dhabi grow very carefully, attract global residents, and build these long-term communities. That's why Abu Dhabi's city feels very planned, calm, and confident. Freehold did not just change who owns the homes, it changed how the city grows. So it's just not about how the city looks, it's also about how people live inside the city. That's what they've really focused on. So real estate plays a very important role in shaping this entire thing. And real estate, as you know, means the homes, the buildings, the neighborhoods, and the communities. Abu Dhabi is not built randomly, and the government planned where people could live, where they could work, and where they could relax. That's why the city today feels very calm and organized. Next, we'll be covering the economy of Abu Dhabi. How does it make money? How do people earn money? And how the city is growing in terms of its economy. So Abu Dhabi has one of the strongest economies in the region. And this did not happen overnight. It happened through very careful planning, patience, and smart decisions. So for many years, the main source of money in Abu Dhabi, as it is with many oil nations, was oil and gas. Oil was discovered in the middle of the 20th century in the 1950s. This discovery changed the future of the city. Oil helped Abu Dhabi earn money from selling this to other countries. And with this money, the city could build the infrastructure that we see today: roads, schools, hospitals, and homes. Oil helped improve life very, very quickly, but Abu Dhabi's leaders understood something important in some years. Oil would not last forever. So instead of spending everything at once, they chose to save and invest. So Abu Dhabi created very large investment funds, or sovereign funds. These funds actually save the money for future generations. This helps make sure that the children and grandchildren will also have opportunities to grow. Over time, Abu Dhabi began to diversify its economy. And diversify means not just depending on one thing, which was oil. Today, Abu Dhabi earns money from many different areas. One important area is real estate. Real estate includes homes, offices, shops, and communities. When people buy homes, builders or construction companies or developers get work, communities grow, and the city overall develops. Real estate also helps attract people from around the world who want to live and work here. Another major part of the economy is business and finance. So Abu Dhabi has special business districts. These areas are designed for companies, for banks, and offices. A good example is ADGM, or Abu Dhabi Global Markets, where many international companies operate from. They choose it because it's stable, it's safe, and well organized. The city also focuses on trade. Because of its location, Abu Dhabi connects 3 continents: Asia, Europe, and Africa. Goods can move by ships through the sea or planes through their large airports. This makes trade faster and easier. Tourism is another important part of the economy. People visit Abu Dhabi to see the entertainment districts, the cultural landmarks, enjoy the beaches, attend events, and experience the lifestyle that it has to offer. Hotels, restaurants, and entertainment all support tourism. Another growing area is education and healthcare. Universities, schools, and hospitals also create jobs. They also help people build their skills and stay healthy. Abu Dhabi also invests heavily into technology and innovation. They really support clean energy, smart cities, and new ideas like artificial intelligence. This helps prepare for the future. What makes Abu Dhabi's economy special is that it focuses on very long-term stability. The goal is not fast growth at any cost. The goal is steady and safe progress. So the government carefully controls spending. So they make sure risk is managed. Because of this approach, Abu Dhabi is known as a city that feels secure. Families feel confident settling down. Businesses feel confident investing into the city, and young people can carefully plan their future. The economy supports jobs, infrastructure, and quality of life. So in simple words, Abu Dhabi's economy works like a strong foundation. It holds up the city, it supports its people, and it prepares for the future. That's why Abu Dhabi continues to grow calmly, carefully, and confident. Next, we'll be covering the utility services that are available in Abu Dhabi and how they are made. Utility services are the everyday systems that help the city work properly. They are things that people don't really talk about, but without them, a city cannot function. In Abu Dhabi, utility services are carefully managed and operated. They help keep the city reliable and safe. One of the most important is electricity. Abu Dhabi has a very hot weather, especially in summer. Because of this, electricity is extremely important. Electricity powers the air conditioning, lights, elevators, schools, and hospitals. Homes, offices, and buildings also depend on electricity every day. So the city makes sure electricity is available all the time. Power cuts are very rare, and this helps people feel secure. Another very important service is water. Abu Dhabi is in a desert. As we know, there are no rivers. There's very little rain. So how does the city get water? Most of Abu Dhabi's water comes from the ocean. The city uses a process called desalination, and this means salt is removed from seawater so it becomes safe to drink. Desalination plants work day and night and supply clean water to homes, schools, and hospitals. Because water is so precious, people are encouraged not to waste it. Another important utility service is waste management. Waste means trash or rubbish. Everyday waste is collected from homes, offices, schools, and shops. Garbage trucks move through neighborhoods quietly and regularly, and the city is also working on recycling. Some waste is then reused instead of being just thrown away. So this helps protect the environment. Abu Dhabi also has very strong sewage and drainage systems. These systems remove the dirty water very safely, and they keep the streets clean and healthy. During rare rainstorms, drainage systems help prevent flooding. Another modern utility service is internet and communication. Abu Dhabi has very fast internet, which helps students study, people work, and businesses operate. Phones, computers, and smart devices all depend on strong communication networks like Etisalat and Du. Hospitals are relying on it as well. Electricity, waste and water, internet also help doctors, and that's why this is a very top priority. Abu Dhabi also focuses on future-ready utilities like cleaner energy, smart system, and technology that actually saves resources. Some buildings are using smart systems to track energy use, and these systems help the city reduce the waste and protect the environment. So what makes Abu Dhabi special is not just having utilities, but how well they are managed. Everything is planned carefully, like I told you. Before a new neighborhood is built, utility systems are put in there first. Pipes, cabling, and networks are placed underground, and this keeps the city very clean and organized. So people living in Abu Dhabi can trust that the water will flow, lights will turn on, and systems will work. This trust allows families to relax. It allows businesses to operate efficiently. In simple words, utility services are the invisible helpers of the city. You may not see them, but they're always working, and they support the daily life, safety, and the future. That's why utility services are a very important part of Abu Dhabi. Next, we'll be covering human rights in Abu Dhabi. So, what are human rights? Human rights are about how people are treated. There are rules and laws that help protect people's safety, dignity, and basic needs. In Abu Dhabi, human rights are shaped by the laws, culture, and traditions. The city follows the laws of the United Arab Emirates, and these laws guide how people live and work together. Abu Dhabi is home to people from many, many different countries. People come here to live, work, study, and have family life. So it's important to keep the order and respect. So one of the most important rights in Abu Dhabi is safety. The city is known for being very safe. Crime levels are low. Police and emergency services respond quickly. Children can go to school safely, families can walk in public areas comfortably, visitors often feel secure. Another important area is the right to work. Millions of people come to Abu Dhabi for jobs. Workers are protected by labor laws, and these laws explain working hours, rest days, salaries, and workplace safety. So the employers or the businesses must follow these rules. If problems do happen, there are legal systems to help resolve these disputes. Healthcare is another important part of human rights. People living here in the capital city have access to hospitals and clinics. Emergency medical care is available to everybody, and this helps protect the right to health. Education is also protected. Children have the right to learn. Schools, colleges, and universities operate across the city. Education helps people improve their lives and build futures. So Abu Dhabi also focuses on religious respect. People from different religions also live in the city. Places of worship exist in different areas. So respect for religion is very important for the leaders here. At the same time, they also follow their own cultural values. Public behavior is guided by those rules. People are expected to dress and behave respectfully in public places, and these rules help maintain the harmony. So human rights in Abu Dhabi also include housing and living standards. The government supports citizens with housing programs. Infrastructure such as water, electricity, and transport help people live comfortably, and for expats, rental laws protect both tenants and landlords. Clear rules help avoid the conflict. So another important area of equality is equality under the law. Laws apply to everyone living in the city. People are expected to follow rules regardless of background. Courts and legal systems exist to handle these disputes and maintain fairness and order. So Abu Dhabi continues to develop and improve its laws, and as the city grows, laws are updated to match new needs. So the government studies population change, work environments, technology, and international standards, which helps improve the living conditions over time. So it's important to understand that every country has its own system. Abu Dhabi's human rights framework is shaped by the local traditions, Islamic values, and modern laws. And the goal really here is balance between freedom and responsibility, culture and diversity, and growth and stability. So because of this balance, people from many countries choose to live in Abu Dhabi long term. They work, raise families, and build futures. In simple words, human rights in Abu Dhabi focuses on safety, respect, and stability. So the city aims to create an environment where people can live peacefully together while respecting local laws and culture. So this balance is an important part of how Abu Dhabi functions as a global city. Our next section is demographics. So demographics is a word that describes who lives in a certain place or city or country. It talks about people's ages, backgrounds, and where they came from. So Abu Dhabi itself has a very unique population. People living here come from many different countries. That makes the city very multicultural and diverse. Today, around 2.5 million people live in Abu Dhabi. But here's something important to understand. Only a small percentage of the population are UAE nationals. Most people living in Abu Dhabi are expats. So expats are people who were born in other countries and moved to Abu Dhabi to work, study, or live with family. People in Abu Dhabi come from the Middle East, South Asia, Southeast Asia, Europe, Africa, and North America. This mix of people creates a global environment. So you may hear many languages spoken every single day. However, the official language is Arabic. Arabic is still used in the government, laws, and official communication. However, English is very widely spoken. Most schools, businesses, workplaces, government offices use English as well. Other languages you may hear include Hindi, Urdu, Malayalam, Tagalog, and French. Because of this, people can communicate pretty easily. Now, Abu Dhabi's population includes families, young professionals, students, and retirees. Some people actually stay for a few years, others stay for their whole life, and many families raise their children here. Now, children attend schools from different education systems like British, American, Indian, and international. This helps children grow up with a global mindset instead of just a local mindset. Another important part of demographics is the age group. So Abu Dhabi itself has a very young and working population. Many residents are in their working years. This actually supports economic growth business activity, and the overall development of the city. At the same time, Abu Dhabi is becoming a little bit more family-oriented than it was before. More parks, schools, and communities are being built to house them. Housing plays a huge role in demographics too. Some areas attract only young professionals, other areas attract families. For example, apartment areas near the city center attracting professionals and villa communities for families. This balance helps people choose the lifestyle that suits them instead of being forced to live somewhere. So religion is also part of the demographics. Islam is the official religion, and you can find mosques all around the city. At the same time, people of other religions live in Abu Dhabi, and they're able to practice their faith respectfully. So this creates this environment of tolerance, and another important aspect is gender and work. So both men and women work in Abu Dhabi. Women are actually more active in education, healthcare, business, and government. Education has helped many people build careers here, and Abu Dhabi continues to plan for population growth. The government really studies how many people live in the city, where they live, and what services they need so they can plan effectively. And this helps with planning schools, hospitals, transport, and housing. Demographics actually help people understand the city much better. And in simple words, Abu Dhabi is not just one type of city. It is a city made up of many cultures, many stories, and backgrounds. People come to Abu Dhabi with different dreams. Some come to work, some come to study, some come to build their family. Together, they create the life of the city. And that diversity, I think, is one of Abu Dhabi's greatest strengths. All right, let's move on to transportation. So transportation, as you know, is how people move from one place to another. It includes roads, cars, buses, taxis, and airports. In Abu Dhabi, transportation is designed to be safe and organized because the city is carefully planned. Moving around Abu Dhabi is pretty easy. So let's first talk about roads and driveways. Most people in Abu Dhabi travel by car. The city has wide roads, clear lanes, and good signs. So highways connect different parts of the city to each other. You can drive from one area to another without any confusion. Traffic lights are well placed. Speed limits are clearly marked. This helps keep the roads safe. Because the roads are so wide, traffic usually flows smoothly. Parking is also planned into the city. Homes, malls, offices, and public places all have parking spaces. Let's talk about taxis and ride services. Taxis are very common in Abu Dhabi. They're very clean, safe, easy to find, and regulated. You can stop a taxi on the road or book one using an app like Uber or Careem. Taxis are used by tourists, students, people who do not drive, and drivers really follow the rules strictly. Meters are used so prices are fair. Ride-hailing apps, like the ones I told you, also operate in the city, making travel even more convenient. Abu Dhabi also has a public bus system, and these buses connect every area to each other, like residential areas, shopping centers, schools, and the business districts. Buses are affordable and air-conditioned, and that is important in the hot weather. Bus stops are marked very clearly, and routes are planned carefully. Many people use these buses for daily travel, especially workers and students. Next, let's talk about the air travel. So Abu Dhabi has a major international airport. Abu Dhabi International Airport, that's what it's called. It connects it to countries around the world, which people use to travel for work, visit their families, or go on holiday. Airport is very modern and well organized and handles millions of passengers every year. Because Abu Dhabi is in a very central location, flights to Asia, Europe, and Africa are not very long. That makes Abu Dhabi an important travel hub. Let's also talk about walking and cycling. In many areas, walking is encouraged. The sidewalks are wide and very clean, so pedestrian crossings are clearly marked. Parks and waterfront areas also have walking and jogging paths, and some communities also include cycling tracks. So this is supporting the healthy living. Transportation in Abu Dhabi is not just about today. Planners think about population growth, new communities, and reducing traffic. Technology is also being used to improve the traffic flow and safety, and smart systems help manage all the roads much better. So why does transportation matter? See, good transportation helps people reach work on time, children get to school safely, businesses operate more smoothly, and it also helps the economy grow. So when movement is easy, it feels less stressful, and that makes it more calm and organized. So to give you a little summary, roads are wide and planned, taxis and buses are reliable, the airport connects Abu Dhabi to the world, on walking areas, and cycling tracks are being improved. So keeping it very connected internally as well as. And I also wanted to mention the introduction of the Etihad Rail, which will connect all 7 Emirates of the UAE together. The Etihad Rail will be a passenger train, which will be a high-speed train taking travel time from Dubai to Abu Dhabi, for example, to less than 30 minutes, when it's now more than an hour. So this will really help connect all the cities together and make the city even more accessible to people living in other Emirates. The next section we'll talk about is culture in Abu Dhabi. So culture is about how people live every day. It includes traditions, food, clothing, language, family life, and celebration. Abu Dhabi has a culture that is deeply rooted in tradition, but it's also open to the modern world. At the heart of Abu Dhabi's culture is family. Families are very important, and people respect their parents and elders. Families actually spend time together, especially in the evenings and on weekends. Homes often have a majlis, and a majlis is a special sitting area. It's a place where people meet, talk, and welcome guests. Hospitality is a big part of life. Guests here are treated with respect. Offering coffee, tea, and dates is a common tradition. Another important part of culture is respect. People are expected to be polite in public. They speak calmly, and they dress respectfully in shared spaces. Traditional clothing is still worn proudly, even today. Men often wear a kandura, which is a long white robe. Women often wear an abaya, which is a long black cloak. These clothes are comfortable for the hot weather and show their cultural identity. Language is also an important part of the culture. Arabic, like I said, is the official language. It's still used in the government laws and announcements, but English is still widely spoken as well. This helps people from different countries communicate pretty easily. Religion plays a strong role in daily life. Islam is the main religion. Like I said, mosques are found in every neighborhood, and the most famous mosque here is the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque, which is not only a place of worship, but also the symbol of culture, peace, and beauty. People here pray 5 times a day. Prayer times are respected all across the city. At the same time, Abu Dhabi is home to people of many religions. Different faiths live together peacefully. People are allowed to practice their religion with respect. Another part of culture is the food. Traditional Emirati food includes rice dishes, meat and fish, and dates. Meals are often shared with the family and guests, and sharing food actually shows kindness and togetherness. So Abu Dhabi also celebrates important events. One of the biggest is Ramadan. Ramadan is a holy month where people fast during the day and eat together at night. So during Ramadan, families gather, charity is encouraged, and the city itself feels very calm and peaceful. Another celebration is Eid, which comes after Ramadan. Eid is a time of joy where people visit their family and friends, and children receive gifts and money. Culture in Abu Dhabi also includes learning and art. Museums, culture centers, and libraries are part of the city. Places like the Louvre, Abu Dhabi help people learn more about world history and art. These places bring all the cultures together. So Abu Dhabi's culture is about balance between traditional and modern life, local values and global living, and family life and work life. So people respect the past while building for the future, and that's why the city feels so welcoming. Visitors feel comfortable, families feel secure, people from many cultures can live together very respectfully. So the entire culture of Abu Dhabi is built on respect, family, hospitality, and tradition. And those values still guide the daily life in the city today. Next, we'll be talking about education, which is more about learning, growing, and preparing for the future. It's taken very seriously in the city. City understands that schools are not just buildings. They are places where children will learn how to think, communicate, and build confidence. Because Abu Dhabi is home to people from many countries, the education system offers many choices. So now I'll tell you about the types of schools that are available in Abu Dhabi. If you were to segment them, there are 3 types: government schools, private schools, and international schools. Government schools mainly teach the UAE national curriculum. Arabic language and local studies are an important part of this learning. Most expat families choose private or international schools because they offer the global curriculum. Some popular international schools, let's talk about where they're located and what they are. So if you talk about a British school, there's a British school called British School Al Kubairat, which is near Al Mushrif or close to Al Batin, an area in Abu Dhabi. It's one of the oldest and most respected British schools in Abu Dhabi. It does follow the British curriculum. It's very popular with long-term families living here for some time, and it's known for its strong academics and activities and its history. Many families living in central Abu Dhabi have their children in this school. Cranley, Abu Dhabi. It's located in Saadiyat Island, which is one of the most premium islands. It's a premium British school. It has a large modern campus, focuses on academics, sports, and art. It's popular because of its location on Saadiyat Island, and it's known for its calmer environment and high education standards. Then you have the American Community School of Abu Dhabi. This is also located in central Abu Dhabi. This school follows the American curriculum, and it's very popular with American and international families. Strong focus on creativity and critical thinking, and offers advanced placement programs. So families living near Reem Island and central areas often choose this school. Then you have GEMS World Academy Abu Dhabi, which is located on Al Reem Island. This school follows the IB system or International Baccalaureate, which teaches students from early years to high school, focuses on global thinking and leadership, and it's popular with expats living on Reem Island. IB schools are known for preparing students for universities all over the world. And then you have the Repton School, Abu Dhabi, which is pretty popular here. It's also located on Al Reem Island. Repton offers a British curriculum and a strong focus on character, discipline, and sports. And like I said, it's a common choice for families living in Reem Island. So those are the schools, but let's not forget the nurseries and early education. So education here starts pretty early. There are many nurseries and early learning centers which are spread across many areas, but if you're an expat, they are in Saadiyat, in Yas, in Reem, and mainland Abu Dhabi. They do help young children socialize, learn basic skills, and prepare for school. If you talk about higher education and universities, Abu Dhabi has many world-class of universities, such as New York University Abu Dhabi, located in Saadiyat Island, Khalifa University, which has multiple campuses. These universities attract students from around the world and support research, science, and innovation. So why do school locations matter? School locations are really important if you're a parent, often choosing where, and it will be directing you where to live. So distance to school, travel time, and the community does affect what school you choose. Families on Saadiyat often choose Cranley. Families on Reem often go for GEMS. Generally, the families in Central Abu Dhabi go for the British school and the American school. That's why education and real estate are so closely connected. Last but not least, we're going to talk about sports. Sports are an important part of life in Abu Dhabi. They help people stay healthy, active, and connected. Sports are also bringing families together and attract visitors from around the world. Abu Dhabi sports on all levels. Children play sports in schools, adults play sports in communities. Professionals also compete in world-class events. So what kind of sports facilities are available in the city? Well, Abu Dhabi has many large sports facilities. One of the most important is Zayed Sports City. This area has a plethora of them: football stadiums, tennis courts, swimming pools, and training facilities. It's used very widely for school competitions, professional matches, and community sports. Families also often visit for events and activities that they can plan and do together. Football or soccer. Football is the most popular sport in Abu Dhabi. Children actually play football in schools, in parks, in sports clubs, and there are also local football clubs and leagues. Matches are played pretty regularly because football brings people from different backgrounds together. It's a sport everybody kind of understands and enjoys. Next, you have a sport which Abu Dhabi is famous for, Formula One and motorsport. One of the most famous sports event is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which takes place every year at the end of the year, end of the circuit. And this happens in the Yas Marina Circuit on Yas Island. This event attracts visitors from all around the world. It's watched by millions on television and brings a lot of excitement and hype to the city. Even people who don't usually watch racing enjoy the atmosphere and going there to watch these professionals. So golf is another popular sport in Abu Dhabi. City is famous for the Abu Dhabi Golf Club, which hosts a lot of international golf tournaments, and it welcomes both professionals and beginners. And Like I said, golf is popular because the weather is suitable most of the year. Courses are very high quality, and it's a calm and casual sport, so many people can enjoy it. Next, you have fitness, cycling, and outdoor sports. So Abu Dhabi does encourage active lifestyles. Many communities and areas already have running tracks, cycling paths, and outdoor gyms. And places like Udairiyat Island have very large sports zones where people can cycle, run, and play beach sports. So families often visit these areas on the weekends to do these outdoor activities. And since Abu Dhabi is located next to the ocean, you have a lot of emphasis on water sports. They're very, very popular. People enjoy swimming, kayaking, paddle boarding, and sailing, and even fishing, if you include it as a sport. Beaches and waterfronts are designed to support these safe water activities. In the schools itself, they do place a big emphasis on sports, so children do take part in most of them, like football, swimming, athletics, and more team sports. These sports help the children build confidence, learn teamwork, and stay healthy overall. So many schools have very large sports grounds and gyms. So why do sports matter that much to the city? Sports helps the city in many ways. They, first of all, improve the health of the entire population, expats and locals. They bring communities together. They support tourism. They build global recognition. Big events like the F1 Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi puts it on the map. And at the same time, small community sports keep daily life active and happy. So these are the reasons why, sports is such an important aspect of life here. Okay, guys, that ends our productive session on Abu Dhabi. I hope you learned a lot about it. This was an introduction course on the city and why it matters in the grand scheme of things. If you're interested to know more about Abu Dhabi, please get in touch with us on the email given below the video, and our Kirpa army will get in touch with you to get on a Zoom call and give you the breakdown and the overview of the entire city. There's a lot of excitement on new real estate projects that are coming up. They do have limited supply, and they will be amazing projects in great locations like the ones I've explained in the video. So do not miss out. If you are interested in investing your money into the UAE, this is one of the places where growth can really happen. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment below if you enjoyed it, if you had any feedback, or if you have any questions. I'll make sure to answer them on these comments. Thank you so much, guys, and see you in the next video.